We're facing a uniquely challenging moment, and I hope you can see I'm out there in public defending the hell out of what I believe in is good for fraternity and what I believe is good for you. I'm going to do that, and so should you. But I'm also, hopefully you'll join me in taking on the things in fraternity that we must address. I hope you will join me with that. A lot of people ask me the question, and Bill said, hey, I want you to give some trends about fraternities and college life, and so I'm going to give you a couple of perspectives why I think today is different, although I will say in college, we were still, in many ways, growing up and maturing. But what is different today about college students than maybe 20 years ago when I went to Iowa State? Couple things to keep in mind. I'm going to do two global things and then one thing on fraternity specific. Look, the cost of college, this chart says it all. This is from 1971 to today. This is in 2017 dollars. So this already factors in inflation. It's over twice as much to go to school than when it was in 1971. That factors in inflation, right? I had to work. My parents gave me just enough to get through college, and I had some scholarships, but I had to work on pig farms in the summer in Iowa and deliver pizzas at night. And it was hard as hell back then. And I think the other thing people have to understand is there's the crushing student debt. That's the orange here, percentage of debt going on in the United States. And look at what student debt is happening. Now, that is combining to really question the value of what am I getting out of my college degree, although every study shows if you don't go to college, you're going to struggle with your career-wise and earning potential. But it's deeply impacting students and parents as they are arriving on college campus. The second thing that is challenging about kind of college students right now is the mental health issue. You know, I can remember in my chapter some brothers looking back that had some mental health issues. And I can remember in times in my life where I've had high anxiety. God knows in this job, I have high anxiety. But I want to show you what's happening since 2006. They do a study of 10th grader and depression. And these are normalized rates, so I can't give you a percentage because I'm going to give you another graph that's amazing. But basically, since 2011, 10th graders are reporting signs of depression through the surveys at almost twice the rate that they were in 2006. Most college professionals will tell you when they're arriving at campus, 25% of the freshman class will be medicated on one form of anti-anxiety or focused medicine. And I'll be honest, I have taken anti-anxiety medicines, especially in this job. My son has to be on basically a form of Ritalin for his learning disability. It's bad. It's just the reality of what we're facing. And a lot of people ask, what the hell's going on? How's this happening? I know that correlation and causation hasn't been proven here, but check out what the author in this research has shown with the advent of smartphones as it overlays over the time period. Now, there's nothing wrong with a smartphone. I have them. I work all the time. That's probably a bad thing, especially for my marriage. Nothing wrong with texting, but it's the whole virtual world of social media, especially I'm watching it with my daughter who's 12. It's challenging to find intimacy and connection and not feel insecure and lonely. You know what research in all psychology says the number one coping mechanism for depression is? Friendships, meaningful friendships. The best way for you, if you feel depression, besides getting the help you need professionally, is to have close people you love and trust. And at the core of any fraternity is that. You know what, right? You know what inside the chapter experience, I didn't realize it, but it was honing my skills of yes, I was focused on academics, and I want this message to come off right. And I did well academically because a lot of it was my discipline, not because I'm smart, but I was focused. But I learned a ton through my fraternity experience about giving and submitting to something bigger than myself and learning how to read the chapter and look at my chapter brothers and understand their emotions and understand my emotion. And they call that in the professional world emotional intelligence, EQ, not IQ. I can tell you in that experience at Iowa State, it has no doubt shaped who I am today and my ability to lead. Look at this. Now, this is from the EQ author, so of course they're going to publish this, but this is 42,000 people that have taken the EQ survey, how high their EQ intelligence is, and their earning. 42,000 people, the higher your emotional intelligence is, this is your earning potential. Now, if you're going to spend a lot of money and you're going to go into debt to get your college education, I can tell you probably a fraternity experience is the best insurance you've got that investment's going to pay off over the long run from what you learn inside that experience. Right? And the last one about this whole kind of us versus them. You remember when Charlie Rose cut me off and I was going to say the students are the most powerful governing engine on a college campus. It's not the university president, it's students. And when we don't tap into that energy properly is when we lose the culture. Our model, I go over and over again about how to govern effectively, is the chapter is the centerpiece of governance. It's basically, when you do Phi Gamma Delta well, your brothers say, that stuff isn't going to happen on my watch, not while I'm in this chapter. Right? It's how you talk about women at chapter meetings. It's how you treat each other when they're new members. It's how you treat each other about how you joke around. There's a fine line between having brotherly fun and putting someone down to a point that he has more issues with depression. And inside that governing is so powerful and pure. Then in the alumni, you have a huge role in this too if you look at this. Great chapters have great alumni support, period. Sustainability. What we're trying to work on is having strong IFCs, because if you feel like the chapters on your campus are all invested in doing the right thing and hanging together, it's a lot easier for you to govern at your chapter about why you have to do things that aren't always easy. Because if the Sigma Chi's are getting away with it next door, it's really hard for you not to do it, right? That's what we're trying to help with at the IFC level. The campus administration, national organizations, and society, they're of course going to want to govern us if we can't govern at the chapter and council and alumni level. But I can tell you that's an outside-in or a top-down strategy, and it needs to happen. But the real success is an inside-out, grassroots up. The students are the solution. Right? And what do you know if you learn how to say, not in my watch, and that starts to apply to you, not when this is how I'm going to parent, I'm going to take ownership, and this is how I'm going to lead my church group, and this is how I'm going to help lead my business, or this is how I'm going to be a community leader, I'm going to take ownership on my watch. I can't imagine a more important message about personal responsibility that Phi Gamma Delta is teaching young men right now. So I have a ton of hope for fraternities, and I am going to defend the hell out of it, and I hope you do too, right? One quick thing. People say all the time, what are we going to do to reframe the narrative around the fraternity? We know the media's out to get us. Couple things you have to understand. The media isn't interested in telling the positive stories about anything in life because negative stories get ads and revenues and clicks. It's just how it is. The more drama, the more eyeballs, the more eyeballs, the more ad revenue. So we have to be our own brand ambassadors. We have to tell through our own peer networks how important and how valuable fraternity is in our lives. And we're going to start a project in September that's called the My Fraternity Campaign. Right? It's basically every fraternity man is going to be the brand ambassador on one day. I need a favor from you. I'm going to ask you for two. This is the first one. I need you on September 12th to go onto social media and post why you love your fraternity. And I need you to hashtag it MyFraternity. We are coordinating across 66 men's fraternities, international, 6,000 chapters, 400,000 undergraduates roughly, one day to light up the internet with why our fraternity experience is so great. All I need you to do is do that. Can I get a snaps for that? Because we're men, there's a reminder right there. If you text right now, because you're going to forget, I know you are because you're me. If you text 25827, you text the word My Fraternity, it puts you on a list, so on September 12th it says, hey you, don't forget to post, right? Guys, please do that because I know you're going to forget on September 12th. Don't miss that opportunity because you're nervous. You might be the first one to post. We need people to be proud. And so that's your chance. We're going to do some other cool things in the month in September, but that's how we need your help. All right. Final story. You can probably tell by now, I love my school. You can probably tell by now I love my fraternity. But I tell you what, it ain't nothing compared to what I love my family for, right? Nothing. Now, that's my little guy. I have a 12-year-old daughter. That's my little guy. And here's the deal. If he doesn't want to go to Iowa State and he wants to go to a school, we're obviously going to help him but not pay for it all. I just hope he loves it as much as I do. I'm coming to terms with this one. If the local beta chapter isn't a good fit for him, we will pay his initiation fees as long as he finds a good chapter that belongs to the NIC. We'll do it. He can join a different fraternity. My second ask for you is to everyone in this room. If you go home and you have an attitude, whether you're an advisor or a parent or a student, and you say, on my watch, this year, while I'm here, I'm going to make the best damn fraternity experience I possibly can, and I'm not going to let it happen in my chapter. If you have that attitude on my watch, you don't understand this, but that little guy who's going to need help with emotional intelligence, and he's going to need help in friendships when he's down, and he's going to need to learn how to take accountability on his watch, you are impacting his life by what you do at your school when you go home. And so with that, I challenge you to say, not on my watch, right? I am so damn proud to be a fraternity man, and I'm very proud tonight to be with you all. Thank you very much.